Parents of autists, let me throw a couple things out there for you. Number one, have patience with us. So I'm not going to outline the new model that I'm creating for the spectrum because it's not complete, not even close. But, honorable mentions and whatnot, and it's kind of like Maslow's hierarchy. You got people trying to make a name for themselves like, no, wait, there's a little bit more to this. Like, no. And then right now you've got people trying to maintain their name by saying the spectrum is complete. It ain't. Not even close. However, we aren't able to see outside of ourselves because ASD, autism spectrum disorder, right? Is it? Let's look at it empirically. Based on the journals and any documentation of Galileo, he was one of us. Aristotle, he was one of us. Leonardo da Vinci, he was one of us. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, he was one of us. And he wrote a wonderful sonnet called Für Elise for the woman he loved. Let's see, Dan Harmon's one of us, definitely. Elon Musk is one of us, and the original Nikola Tesla was one of us. Einstein was one of us. In fact, I have something in common with Einstein. Third grade, we both failed math, but we also were both creating our own equations. True story. Parents, we have patience with us. We're slower to learn social skills. Other skills, we will excel. But if you don't have patience with us, like let's say you let the TV raise us, or you go through the same rigmarole that 90s parenting did, what's going to end up happening is if you don't take the time with us early, our life's going to be a little bit harder. Not a little bit, a lot harder. So if you don't teach us empathy and all of that early on in childhood, we have to learn it on our own. And that's a long journey for an autist. I'm very pronounced, and that was a very long journey. I did not touch your nest. Shut up. But when it comes to... we shut down when we're insecure. We're always inquisitive. We're always learning. And you'll find we have a lot of energy. But if you direct that energy with patience and with teaching, we can do a lot with it. Seriously, like the nonprofit that I work for, we are piloting basically the framework to end homelessness and end homelessness without costing the GDP. Like it will directly impact beneficially the US economy and the US people while solving a major issue. Then again, it's unbelievable until you actually see the business plan, which is why we're doing proof of concept in the next year. So we're already started on it. Parents, take your time. If you want to know what real life X-Men look like, look at your autistic child. We can do some amazing things, and we have throughout history. But patience is the big one, because when you make us resent you, you could have a child just like me. My father's been directly influential in me being homeless twice, and my mother kept me homeless, living in a toxic environment that was constantly berating. I never want to see any, and that's including my sisters and anybody, like it's not worth the risk to me, because I've spent at least 6 years making up for the reckless mistakes of family and how it affected my adult life. Kicked out at 18 for wanting to take a semester off to shop colleges. True story. My father's a piece of work. And parents, you don't want to be like that. You don't want to be where you have a child that truly, deeply dislikes you, and that if that child ever gets a terminal illness, they don't plan on going down alone because of all of the harm and years of agony, stress, and struggle that you caused through recklessness. But recklessness can also be just abandonment. When you disregard us, when you say, no, you don't feel that way, when you just completely brush us off. I mean, imagine if that happened to you. I just got fired, and everybody was, why were they like that today? Oh, grow up. Acting like you're the only person in the world. Imagine if that was you. You were the one that got fired. Or better yet, this entire day they were just like, why are people so damn mean? like, I don't want to start a conflict, but this guy took my coffee. Just walked up and took it. After I got done making it in front of me. Oh, grow up. You can make another cup. Stop acting like a baby. We hear that stuff, and we don't like you for it. But when we say, oh, looking you in the face is uncomfortable. Oh my God, that noise is sharp. It hurts. It doesn't hurt you. So you're like, no, it doesn't. Grow up. And I'm just using the light stuff. The real heavy stuff that you guys blow off, you have no idea how devastating it is to know that you are alone, but you're living with people that control your life. And then, when they can't control your life, they kick you out. That was especially rough. But don't be those parents. Take time, have patience. Don't let the TV raise your kids either. And if you are, at least make it like NBC or the Learning Channel or something like that. Stop putting them on those disgusting cartoons and Netflix. Because they're going to learn bad morals. That's what we grew up on. I mean, I grew up on Ren and Stimpy. Are you kidding me? In fact, I played the video games. I loved it. So, parents, just take your time. We are going to be frustrating, but if you take the time to teach us, we'll be willing to learn. Grams, I used to crawl into her bed every night until I was like 8 o'clock or 8 years old, just so I could fall asleep watching TV in her king-size bed. And she would always turn it to the Learning Channel, the Discovery Channel, the History Channel, or Night Court. And that was one. And once in a while married with children, but after a while she's like, hey, I don't think I want you to learn those lessons. She was the one that raised me. And she was patient. She was going to be a literal nun 2 to 3 weeks before or after she met my grandfather. Like, she was already on the schedule and everything like that. She meets him and all of a sudden sparks fly. My family's complicated. And it never needed to be. I'm not the first autist in my family. And he was called a black sheep too. His name is Tim Rahal. He was a code breaker during the Cold War. He used to go by the pseudonym Glenn Claston. And he was known by that pseudonym because his final project was cracking the Voynich manuscript. And he had the biggest collection of Voynich documents in the world, to my knowledge. Digitally, of course. And I've got those on my hard drive. At some point I'm going to have a university verify, hey, did he actually do it? Because the CODIS stuff, it's way beyond me. And it would take a long time that I don't want to spend the time to learn. Parents, just have some patience. That's all I got to say. Just have patience. Take the time. It'll be frustrating at times. We won't catch on at first. Get to know us. Learn how to teach us. When I'm not so tired and exhausted, I'll make more videos on this. I'm going to be making green screen, so they'll be all pretty videos and everything like that too. So anyway, y'all stay safe.